Yo, what is up? How's everybody doing? Welcome back. It's another episode today of the Verified Podcast RGV. It is your boy Mike here, aka um aka I need to fucking get on some sups, some Mexican supplements, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Um I've been really thinking about it, but nah, it's too much, man. You know what I mean? Overall, just for the cognitive effects, that I'm just curious to see what kind of cognitive effects it would have on my brain. You know what I mean? I've been researching, trying to see which one's the right one, but I just don't like, man. It doesn't matter what you take, it's gonna mess with your ball size. It's gonna make them small. And honestly, man, I can't give up any little inch of that area. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, anyways, it's just a thought. I am for sure gonna get on some Mexican supplements as soon as I retire, because at that point, who cares, right? Like, let's say 65, 70, and just be jacked. You know what I mean? And your balls aren't gonna be worth a damn, and you probably can't even get a hard on at that point. But the test might override that, so you might still be able to get a hard on. I'm not quite sure about that, but anyways, man, today it is April 6th, 2021. We're coming at you with some news today. Got a lot of stuff to cover. It is spring for sure. The sun finally here is out. I'm coming at you here from the state of New Jersey, man. And if you guys have never been out of your home state or out of your house for more than a few months, it really does make you appreciate where you're from and your home state, at least from the standpoint uh, of of really, I guess, appreciating what you have over there, because it might not be for all states. I guess if you're from, let's say, if you're from some crappy state like New Mexico, I'm not sure. Well, maybe, I don't know. Or Oklahoma, you know what I mean? If you're from Oklahoma, are you really glad if when you come back to Oklahoma and you say, damn, I really miss this place? I don't know. But Texas, though, we don't gotta worry about that because we're from Texas and we hold it down. But anyways, man, yeah. So just wanted to get to some housekeeping things real quick. Just wanted to kind of go overall the philosophy that I want to embody with this podcast here. And I think I mentioned it yesterday, but if not, I'll mention it again. The reason I'm doing this podcast is because it doesn't matter to these newspapers here in Texas anymore about being objective. They are constantly skewing to the left, and they're spinning these stories as they see fit. And don't get me wrong, for a long time I was that way. I was eating all these stories up, because before COVID happened, I considered myself a Democrat. You know what I mean? But the lockdowns changed all of that. And now literally I go back and I try to analyze all the stuff that I was consuming, and I ask myself, man, how much of that was actually real information, rather than, now that I see really what is going on, how much of that stuff was being spoon fed to me to perpetuate this narrative, of this game of politics that people seem to always be playing, and especially in the Valley. When I heard that the Valley was going to shut down, when the COVID lockdowns happened, I couldn't believe it, because it started to make sense why there's different philosophies when it comes to governing, right? The Democrats believe in using the power of the government to protect its people and to provide certain goods, or not goods, but um, provide, I guess, care to the most needy people that need help. As the Republicans, they want more personal. They advocate more personal responsibility, and I guess less regulation, right? And so once the COVID lockdowns happen, and my side, the Democrats, just start abusing their powers like completely, some people still think that all these vaccine passports, the lockdowns, all these things are good things, and that the government has your the best intentions in mind, and I was a little too skeptical for that. I didn't trust them with that kind of power, and more than anything, it just sets a precedent. It sets a precedent to what they can do in the future. So it's not for example, right now, what's going on with the vaccine passports. It's not that it's bad to have a vaccine passport. Who gives a fuck about the vaccine passport? But the thing is, what is it going to lead up to in the future? When September 11 happened, the Patriot Act allowed the government to essentially hijack everybody's phone, and use and just spy on people, regularly. And now that kind of power, we even just allow it. Like, we just assume that the FBI is listening to all of our conversations, and you don't even want to say the word bomb in on your phone, or whatever the hell, because you're afraid that the government, we all assume that the government is already listening to whatever the hell you're saying. But yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of restate that again. When it comes to the newspapers, the Monitor, the Valley Morning Star, the San Antonio Express, I think that's what the newspaper over there is called, the Austin Statesman, all of these papers, except the one in Dallas. I think it's one Dallas Morning Star, I think that's what it's called. I think that one's okay. But all of those newspapers, literally, on Twitter, all their headlines just completely skewed to the left. And I'm just sick and tired of it, man. And so I'm going to just take the power back. As my friend Sac de la Rocha stated, take the power back, and I am going to just focus on maybe shifting the narrative a little bit more to the other side. I'm not saying it's going to be completely center, you know what I mean? I might kind of skew to the right myself, but it'll provide balance, right? It's like the Jedi and the Sith, right? You can't have too many of one side. You gotta have balance to the Force, right? That's the whole thing that they always say in the Star Wars movies. I mean, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but there has to be balance to the Force, right? And there has to be balance to the news cycle and to the information that is being provided to everybody. So that's my philosophy of what I'm trying to do with this podcast. You know what I mean? Currently, I still have a full-time job, but I'm going to work on dedicating more time to this podcast and really honing in on stories that matter, not just fucking bullshit like, 2 cars crashed on interstate, whatever the fuck, and or this guy got caught crossing the border with amphetamine or whatever the hell, which actually that did happen yesterday, I believe. I think it was a border patrol agent that they said that was caught smuggling some was like cocaine and like methamphetamine. I didn't really read the story too much, man. But that's the thing, right? It's like, where are these people? Who are they selling these to? You know what I mean? Uh, like really, like they must just live in the fringes of society where you don't even interact with these types of people. Or I guess maybe they're just going across the border to upper, other states, upper, in the northern states maybe, or California or Florida or some other states, right? And so yeah, they did catch one of these border patrol agents smuggling. Let me see if that is correct. Let me just double check that. But yeah, man, you know what I mean. So anyways, let's start off with some stuff here real quick. Just real fast, the latest book I just finished here, it's a book by Simon Sinek here. It's called Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. And actually this book really kind of helped me make decisions as to why I was doing certain things, you know what I mean? And basically, this book just talks a lot about, really having, when you're starting a brand or you're starting a company, to have a real reason why you're doing stuff, and not just be focused on meeting the bottom line or maximizing profits at the expense of your customers or even your employees, right? The product or your vision or your philosophy has to be the main reason why you're doing that thing. Like, it can't be just to make money, right? And the perfect example that he gives in the book, throughout the book, is Steve Jobs, Costco, but even like Chick-fil-A. Even I could say that they kind of embody that same philosophy, right? You can tell the companies that do that, because that's the companies that everybody wants to work for. And he also gives examples of companies that don't put the philosophy first. Rather, they put the shareholders of that certain company first, and then everything comes at the expense of that, right? The employees get treated as shit. They get paid the minimum wage. They work, they work just crappy hours. And let's just say Amazon, right? Amazon gets a lot of heat currently because they're even trying to bust their unions, right? And when they try to virtue signal a lot of political things, especially against when Donald Trump was a president, yet every time when it comes to providing more things for their workers, more safety, more better opportunities, they're the complete opposite. You know what I mean? They're not all about safety, and they're not all about I guess how do you say this, like making sure that their employees are taken care of, But in the news, they will say that they're against Donald Trump because he's a racist and all these things, and they're therefore for more economic opportunity, but not if it means anything that that interferes with their bottom line. But anyways, that is the last book that I finished. Actually, I finished it a few hours ago, which was really good. 4 stars out of 5. Just as a comparison, the book Sapiens was a 5 out of 5. That book, and also I read recently The Happiness Hypothesis. That one was a 5 out of 5 as well. But anyways, let's get to some local news here. The UT RGV apparently has a chess team. I knew that also. I knew that from one of my patients, but I didn't actually believe him. I thought he was in one of his delusional states, given that I had just given him some morphine. But apparently they do, and they won their third President's Cup, which I'm guessing is it the Super Bowl of chess? I don't know. It says here that they beat out Webster University and Texas Tech University to win the overall championship. One thing I was noticing though, so congratulations to them. Congratulations to the UTRGV chess team. I'm sure this will help them get laid in the future. I'm pretty sure these guys will definitely be crushing some poon, and they'll be going to Poontown very soon. Anyways, these guys, they're not from the RGV at all. I guess they're all grandmasters, right? And I guess UTRGV recruited them and they have scholarships to play, to play chess. The first guy is Matez Bertel. I can't even say their names. Camille Dragoon, Vladimir Beloz, Hafnes Gabuzayan from Armenia. The other two guys are from Poland, and Vladimir is from Russia. Anyways, congratulations to them for bringing that cup home. Like I said, I try to play chess. Okay, so it's not easy, man. Literally, on chess.com, yesterday I got knocked out in the guy beat me in 4 moves. And it's hard. It might seem simple, but it's got a lot of strategy to it, and people can really kick your ass when you're trying to show off and say, I can do this. It doesn't seem that hard. Well, it is, because apparently I'm not sure if it was like a 7-year-old little girl that beat me or what the hell. You can't see, but it's live players from all over the world. And I was like, fuck this, man, I'm out. And so I stopped playing. Anyway, so that was story number 1. We have the Texas governor today announced that he will not be allowing anybody who receives public money or any tax incentives from he is not going to allow them to require vaccine passports. It's an executive order that prohibits government mandated vaccine passports in Texas, right? So even though there is no currently federal passport vaccine passport requirement, they're doing this. Florida, Texas, Missouri are all doing this preemptively because that's what's coming. That's what they've been trying to do. That's what they're gonna do. They say it's only gonna be for 1 year, but fuck that. They said that the lockdowns were gonna be for only 15 days, so you can go fuck yourself with that. And so yeah, man, any company that receives any kind of public or private entity that is receiving or will receive public funds through any means, including grants, contracts, loans, or disbursement of taxpayer funds. So congratulations to the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, Greg Abbott. Did you know his wife is Mexican? And they have an adopted daughter. She graduated from UT. I was looking. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was interesting, right? But that's the thing, man. These people, they always want to paint you out as, or kind of paint, I guess, make it seem like it's, you versus the other guy, red versus blue, all these things. Everyone who's a Republican is a racist, and all these, and I love how they're all assuming that with these voter ID laws that are going down in Georgia and in other states, that the black people and the poor people are going to be the only ones affected, right? Because they assume that the black people are going to vote for the Democrats, and if you're automatically poor, you're going to vote for the Democrats. Like, they think people are dumb, like they can't make any decisions for themselves. And so yeah, man, that's the hypocrisy of what they're trying to do. Like, they're all about equality, but then they put these people into little boxes, right? And as we found out in this past election back in November, those political lines are changing. The valley increasingly is turning red, as to the dismay of many social justice warriors and I guess democratic snowflakes that want to keep the valley blue. More and more people, especially Hispanic men, are turning red, man. And so I thought it was just me, you know what I mean? So I was very happy to see that race that went down with De La Garza and the other guy, literally came down to the teeth. So that is something to keep in mind. The identity of being a Republican and being a Democrat. The Democrats are the rich ones now, essentially, and the Republicans are starting to have a different identity that hadn't been seen since way back in the early 1900s, 1930s, 1940s, something like that. But even then, the Hispanic population, I think, it's crazy how, like for my religion, right? Like my religion, being Catholic and Christian, was something that was bestowed upon me. Like, I didn't choose to be that. Like, that's just what we were. That's what I grew up with, right? And for some reason, in school, because my parents don't vote, right? Because they barely turned U.S. citizen last year. I think my mom had it for a few years already, but my dad was last year. So they didn't indoctrinate me with the whole democratic ideology. So it must have come from public schools and the news that told me that because I am a Latino and I'm Hispanic, that I should be voting for the Democrats. And so every time you try to tell somebody what they should do, man, you gotta be real careful as to how you phrase that, and the why of why you think like that. To all these, especially white people who say you're Hispanic, you're black, you should be voting Democrat, you shouldn't be a racist or whatever the fuck. And it's crazy how, like, they say that the Proud Boys, right, which is this I guess club. It's a club. It's not a political faction or anything like that. It's a club of like-minded individuals, like-minded men, that believe in individual freedoms. They believe in the Second Amendment. They're labeled as white supremacist, when the leader of that group is a Cuban guy. You know what I mean? Literally, he's darker than me. So it's just crazy, man, how they try to spoon feed these people with all these agendas, and they just eat it up. Even right now with the COVID vaccine, people are just lining up to take it, man. And I mean, if they want to take it, but there's a lot easier ways that you can ensure that you're going to be healthy, but people just don't want to do it. They don't want to do anything that's hard. They don't want to eat clean. They don't want to exercise. No. Like, that's nonsense. Give me the easy stuff. Give me the vaccine. Give me something that literally hijacks my my DNA or my mRNA. Basically, the copies of DNA it affects that, and for how long, who knows? You know what I mean? But people wanna do that, and more power to them if that's what they want to do. But just quit fucking with people that don't want to take it. Quit fucking with people that just want to live their lives and want to be left alone. You know what I mean? This shit's going on. It's going away on its own. Texas is down. The COVID case keep on dropping, and only like 20% of the people have the COVID vaccine. So don't tell me that it's because of the COVID vaccine that the herd immunity is already spreading. And I've been saying this since last fall, but people just refuse to believe me. Because they're they've been indoctrinated by medical schools. They've been indoctrinated by scientific literature, according to them, that supports, their reasoning. Like Bill Burr says, that everyone has to go to IamRight.com to support their whatever the fuck they're trying to convince you of. You know what I mean? So yeah, exercise and being healthy, eating clean also has a high efficacy of making you healthy and boosting your immune system. But nobody talks about that, so who gives a shit? Anyways, in a related story, douchebag Fauci here, the biggest rat of them all, is confused. He is confused as to why the Texas COVID cases are dropping. He came out today on MSNBC, and he was asked by a reporter, why the Texas cases are dropping, even though the mask and social distancing rules have been done away with, for 2+ weeks already. And he's just baffled. He doesn't understand why, even though Florida has been open, and their cases are not increasing or anything like that. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't want to hear that you can actually do something about being healthy. Oh, and then he says, well, it's maybe because they spend a lot of time outdoors. Really, Fauci? I see, you fucking cocksucker. You think it's because they spend a lot of time outdoors? Oh, okay. So if that was the case, why didn't you tell people to do that from the beginning? You know what I mean? Instead of telling everybody to stay inside their houses and never leave. Anyway, so Dr. Fauci, again, wrong. He continues to be wrong. And everything that comes out of his mouth is complete bullshit. And this guy's he's just fucking crazy, man. What's his deal? I don't know. This motherfucker hasn't even practiced medicine in I don't know how long. He's been just involved in politics since the 90s, since I think Clinton was around. So, fuck him. Alright, let's get to another story here. Oh yeah, California. Governor Newsom has announced to fully reopen California by June 15th. June 15th. And even then, people are going to be scared, man. They are. Today I saw this lady at Starbucks. And she was right in front of me, so she was going to go into the Starbucks. And so she couldn't open the door because she didn't want to grab the door handle. She's trying to open it with her foot. You know what I mean? So then when she finally gets inside, I wasn't going to fucking help her, she's making her own life difficult. You know what I mean? By doing that. And so when she gets in line, she literally stands not even 6 feet, like 10 feet away from the guy that's like ordering. Because it was just that guy, and then it was her. So she stands 10 feet away. So then what I do is I stand 10 feet away from her. I stand 10 feet away from her because I make it seem like she's also possibly infected, and I don't want to get close to her. You know what I mean? So it's just ridiculous. And the director of the CDC yesterday said that all of these sanitizing rituals that people are doing in these businesses and schools, and it's all theater. It's not real. It doesn't affect any of the cases, whether you get COVID or not. It's just fucking all it's doing is psychologically making you think that any of the surfaces are cleaner and that you're not going to get COVID, but it doesn't do anything to reduce the actual chances of you getting COVID. So, but people are just going to, keep on. And that's the thing. People are not making rational decisions out there. People don't like to listen to what I say because they're not making decisions based off of rationality. They're making decisions based off of fear and off of emotion. And once people start making decisions based off of that, you want to protect your kids, and your kids are the most important thing in your life, then you can't get them to go the other way because the government has told them that they're right and whoever goes against them is wrong. And if they're wrong, that means that they want to get your kids infected, and they want to kill your kids, and they want to kill your grandma. You know what I mean? And Jim Brewer, one of the comedians, was saying that they're just like parrots, like they're just political parrots, just repeating what they hear on the news. 6 feet away, 6 feet away. And yeah, it's just fucking dumb, man. Anyways, this idiot over here, Governor Newsom, to fully reopen California by June 15th if people behave. If they behave and they can show the little governor that they can all keep on social distancing and doing all these little stupid things that don't really matter, even though the head of the CDC already said yesterday that it's all bullshit. In sports-related news, the Baylor Bears yesterday won the national championship, so good for them. Another reason why Texas just continues to kick ass, man. It is the best state. I heard Arizona was pretty good too, but I think Texas is the best state. And so Baylor, they won the championship yesterday, pretty well handedly. They didn't have a trouble. They were leading by 10 at halftime, I saw, and then they won by 15. I don't know how much they won, to an undefeated Gonzaga team. So yes, of course, I only watch the championship. I don't know about any of the anything else that happened throughout the season. I started watching college basketball yesterday. So make of that what you will. But that is what happened yesterday. Also, the Texas Rangers held their baseball game at 100% capacity. I don't know how many people were present at the game, but I saw the pictures and it looked awesome to see a full stadium of people, and nobody was everybody's just there, let me just put it this way, to enjoy the baseball game. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man. So I think that is a positive sign. I think that's a positive direction. We should all start heading back to what's normal. And we should stop with all this bullshit, of pretending that COVID is gonna kill everybody when, in fact, 98% of you, that you have a 98% chance of survival if you do get the coronavirus. Anyways, in other news, in obituary news, I remember a while back I wanted to buy one of those vans, like the Sprinter vans, right? Because people started buying these vans to go across the country, right? And since COVID was happening, a lot of people start converting these vans into their little houses that they could live in and just travel and all these things, right? Anyways, I remember there was this channel, Max and Lee, The Simple Life. They live out of their van, and and I was watching one of their videos because I wanted to see how there was one video that they put of like how to build your van, and I remember I was watching that video just to see what, like, is it hard to make this, because it seemed pretty cool, right? Because all these vans, if you look at them, they're real nice. They have a bed, they have a little faucet, all these things, right? I don't know how the fuck they do it, but anyways, I remember watching one of their videos, and today in the obituaries, that girl from that YouTube channel, she passed away. She took her own life yesterday, and it's just sad to see because she was young. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Like, what is it with? I guess last year during COVID, I was depressed, man. You know what I mean? Because I let it get to me. I shouldn't have been. I take responsibility for feeling that way. But I never felt like killing myself. You know what I mean? I say that in jest sometimes. Oh fuck, I'm just gonna kill myself. Fuck it. I know I fucked up. I should just go fucking kill myself, shoot myself, whatever. But to actually do it, damn, that's crazy, man. Anyways, Lee McMillan, she was 28 years old. So yeah, condolences to her and her family. What else is there to talk about here? That is it, I believe. That's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, what you guys want to know about. If you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer any questions. And yeah, so hopefully, like I said, we'll be starting to do these a little bit more. Right now, it'll have to be about 3 times a week, because currently I work 4 days a week. So it has to be 3 times a week that I'm gonna try to do this, and hopefully we get some momentum and exploit a little niche here that I think can be exploitable. So yeah, what are you guys up to? Let me know. But other than that, we are done for today. I am going to go get some food because I am starving, and I will have to start editing this. So anyways, we'll catch you guys on the flip.